Okay, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna plant the plugs into the 4-inch pots. So I have the 4-inch pots that I've filled with the soil mix. There's 12 pots here, and here are the figs from the front room. Decided to do this outside so that had a little bit more room to work with. So basically this is just real simple. So all I'm gonna do is take my finger and just kind of make a dimple that matches the root riot. Now when I do the Rockwell cubes, I would imagine I'm going to have to do something a little different. But for now, we're just going to use my finger. Pretty easy. And fun. Alright, so I've also got a couple pomegranates, so some Salavatsky pomegranates. I just took some cuttings at the same time that I took the fig cuttings. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to plant those up. And you see the pellet didn't go all the way down into the plug, so the roots actually just came out of the pellet like that. So that's kind of cool. Real simple here. I don't have tags for these. I want to cover up the cube. If I don't cover up the cube will actually act as a wick. So you want to cover up that cube. If you don't cover up the cube will actually act as a wick, and the cube could dry out before the outside soil dries out. So, okay, so now some of the figs. There's the black Tuscan. If you come in here, one thing that I was talking about on the younger plants, a lot of these little leaf coverings had a little bit of mold on them, so I came in and pulled off some of those, and the more you pull off the more it seems to create, so just got to keep doing that. Also I sprayed a little bit of a fungicide on there. So there's black Tuscan. Again, the roots kind of grew out the bottom. Probably would have had to pull that down a little further, or push that down there a little further into the tray if I didn't want that to happen, but I think that they'll be fine. Alright. Some of them are kind of hard to pull out. This is LSU Red. I haven't tasted that one yet, so that came from Herschel Boyd down in, oh shoot, I can't remember, Georgia, I think. So I'm kind of excited to taste that one, but I almost didn't take cuttings off it because I haven't tasted it yet. I don't like to mess with figs that I haven't really tasted yet, but the tip cuttings were so good I just couldn't pass it up. Okay, there's just a little root on that one. This one probably could have waited a little bit longer, but that's Golden Riverside. I haven't tasted that one either. Go ahead and plant that. And let's see what else we got. I'm gonna pop them out from the bottom. Another LSU Red. Ibiza. Ibiza I tasted a few years ago. Last year I think my pot dried out because all the figs dropped on it last year. But again, I've got a lot of cuttings off that. So just gonna keep going. And notice how I'm covering up that plug. Those roots want to hold on to the side of the tray. Come on, get out of there. Okay, we'll keep planting here and I'll take a break here. Okay, I pulled some of these out because I'm not sure how well they're rooted, and I want to get the whole tray with things that are similarly rooted. I don't want to have a really heavily rooted plug next to one that's barely rooted. I want to put the barely rooted ones either back in the tray, back in the humidity dome, and give them another week, or plant them all in their own tray. So I've sorted through these. You can see these here. I don't think they're dead. They're just not very well rooted. Like this doesn't even have any leaves, but it's still got roots shooting out the bottom. So, whereas this, again, this LSU red really seemed to be a happy plant. So I'm gonna plant that one. That's why we had to take a break, because I wanted to make sure that I pulled out the plugs and really planted plants that matched well. All right, I think I'm gonna plant this one. This one's got the most roots, and it doesn't have a ton, but it's got enough. Being careful not to mix the tags up, and I've done that before, where I'll get a little excited and I'll start planting, and then I forget which tag goes with what, and then I gotta throw them away, because I can't chance mixing things up. If I feel like there's been a mix-up, I usually just throw things away. Okay, so yeah, all these little guys are gonna go back in the trays and back in the humidity dome, and they'll wait. Oops. We'll go back in the humidity dome. This one's actually not doing too well. So, all right, so now what I'm going to do is we're going to water these in, and for what I'm going to do to finish these off, I'm not going to water these in and just put them right outside. What I do is I use these bins, and these are Sterilite 64 quart plastic bins, and I use these to root my cuttings in the wintertime. I use them for a lot of different things. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put this in here. Fits one tray pretty well. And I'm gonna water them in gently. I'm gonna focus in on that. Just gonna show them what I'm doing. Alright, giving them a little bit of a water. I don't want to go too much water, but I want to collapse the soil in around the plug, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another bin on top, and I'm going to set these in the shade for about a week, and I'll check back then. Thanks for watching.